Hello, hello, hello. Mark with Leveled Up, here with you for another round of Ask a Life Coach. So, what have you asked? What's wrong with being an introvert? Okay, there's obviously an assumption in this question, and it's an assumption that I am going to reject, that there is anything wrong with being an introvert. So introversion is kind of generically construed as the idea that you get energy or recharge those mental batteries on your own as opposed to from people. Extroverts tend to get that dopamine from social interaction with others. And we live in a pretty extrovert-oriented society, I would say. Like, you're supposed to be the extrovert. If you look at the heroes in the TV shows and movies, most of them are extroverts. They're these kind of larger-than-life characters, and maybe a lot of people like them, or they get along with a lot of people, or they're just very social in general. But there's nothing wrong with not being that way. Being an introvert can be amazing. There's a lot of room for self-discovery and self-growth and just peace and contentment when you don't surround yourself by a whole bunch of noise and when you don't need other people to entertain you. I think sometimes extroverts have a little bit of a conundrum where they really rely on other people for their happiness, and then they have to maybe compromise or spend time with people that aren't adding a lot of value just because they are people. And, that can lead to some problems as well. I'm not saying that it's better to be an introvert than an extrovert. There's obviously pros and cons to all things in life. And I also think even this dichotomy can be a little bit dangerous. Like, oh, I'm an introvert, and oh, you're an extrovert. As I always say, identity is fluid. Everything changes. You can slide up and down these spectrums or continuums. Nothing is fixed. It's not, I'm an introvert today and I'll always be an introvert. It's not either you're an introvert or an extrovert. There's a huge range of possibilities, and all of them are perfectly fine. The most important thing in life is that you find value, you treat others with compassion, and you just live a life of kindness. So however you manifest that is perfectly fine. If people are judging you for being introverted, then that's just not cool at all, right? You're allowed to be however you are. You're allowed to enjoy whatever you enjoy. And if, a loud, crowded, crazy party at 2 a.m. doesn't sound good to you, that doesn't make you weird or abnormal in any way. There are plenty of people who would wholeheartedly agree with that. You might not hear those perspectives as often because I think the extrovert perspectives maybe get voiced more loudly and more frequently. But I assure you, you are not alone. There are plenty of people who recharge alone, plenty of people who need that non-social time to really thrive and feel good in life. I will always advocate for balance in all things. So, of course, if you're finding that you're just sort of always isolating, then you might find a time and a place to add some other humans to your world, and that might be great. On the flip side, if you find that you always need stimulation, you always need other people, or you're super restless and driving yourself crazy, then you might want to cultivate some of those other skills that maybe the introverts have. So we all have a lot to learn from each other. We all have a lot to gain from having relationships with people who maybe see and interact in the world differently than we do. So diversify your circles, share tricks and techniques, but celebrate what makes you you, and know that there's absolutely nothing wrong with like I say, wanting to recharge on your own. Perfectly cool, perfectly viable, and lots of awesome things really can come from that. So there's strengths there. You can play to those strengths while simultaneously, if you like, acquiring new skills and strengths. I appreciate that question. I hope I was convincing enough that there's nothing at all wrong with being an introvert because, as I said, nothing wrong with it. Zero. Nada. Thank you for asking. It's a great question. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you back here in the next video.